Before modern water treatment, there was no magic ancient filter. People reduced the risk by choosing better sources, letting visible dirt settle, straining it, and heating water when fuel and a vessel allowed. That is the uncomfortable answer. They could make dirty water less risky, not guaranteed safe. A clear stream can still carry microbes. A muddy cup can look disgusting, yet tell you nothing precise about what is living in it. Modern public health guidance makes the stakes plain. Contaminated drinking water can spread illnesses, including diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, and typhoid. So the first ancient water technology was often a decision, not an object. If one source looked, smelled, or tasted wrong, people could seek another spring, a cleaner stretch of moving water, or collected rain. That was observation and experience, not a germ test. Imagine two enemies in one cup. Enemy 1 is visible: grit, silt, leaves, and animal waste. Enemy 2 is invisible: the disease-causing germs that can pass through a cup that looks perfectly clear. One set of tricks helped with the first problem. Heat was far more important for the second. But how do you heat water before a metal pot? One documented answer is stone boiling. At a late Paleolithic site in North China, researchers found heated stones and tested whether they could have been used to heat water and liquid food. Their experiments supported that interpretation. It is evidence from one place, not proof that every prehistoric group used the same trick. The mechanism is wonderfully simple. Heat stones in a fire. Move them into a water-filled container. The stones carry heat into the liquid, so a wooden, hide, or other organic vessel does not have to sit directly in the flames. Modern experiments have shown that hot stones can bring water in an organic vessel to the boil. But it was not a free survival cheat code. Fuel had to be gathered. Stones had to be moved safely. Some rock cracked. Ash and dirt could end up in the water. And boiling water does not erase every danger. Modern guidance is clear that heating does not remove toxic chemicals. For the visible problem, people had slower tools. Leave muddy water still, and heavier particles can sink. Pour it carefully through cloth, a porous vessel, or layers of coarse material, and much of the grit stays behind. The cup can look better, it can taste better, but clarity is not the same thing as safety. That difference matters because no ancient person could look into a cup and see bacteria or parasites. A cloth could stop leaves and mud while letting invisible hazards through. The evidence shows people were trying to improve water. It does not let us say that they had solved waterborne disease. Still, the ideas are old. A National Academy's History of Drinking Water notes ancient prescriptions for boiling, wick siphons, porous vessels, and sand or gravel filtration. It also points to Egyptian depictions of liquid clarification from the 15th century BCE. Those records show recurring practical experiments, not one worldwide invention date. In the Greek world, later tradition attached the name Hippocratic sleeve to a cloth bag used to strain water after boiling. The important lesson is not that a piece of cloth made water sterile. It is that people were already separating a muddy appearance from a drink they wanted to trust. Now jump forward to a modern emergency. The same physical logic still appears in public health advice. Bringing clear water to a rolling boil is a strong way to kill disease-causing germs. But even today, the warning comes with limits. Boiling, filtering, and disinfecting do not make chemically contaminated water safe. That modern comparison helps us read the old methods honestly. Settling and straining were useful for dirt. Heating could reduce microbial danger when it was done thoroughly. Better source selection could avoid some danger before it reached the cup. None of those steps could guarantee safe water when the source carried poisons, salt, or contamination added after treatment, and storage could undo the work. A clean container, a covered vessel, and the time needed to collect fuel or wait for sediment all mattered. The real achievement was not a clever object by itself. It was a chain of choices: source, time, container, heat, and handling. So if you could visit the past with a single cup, the honest picture would be less cinematic than a miracle filter. You would see people testing what they could see, using materials they had, and learning the expensive limits of every solution. Modern taps hide that whole chain behind a handle. Ancient waterwork made it visible: a spring versus a muddy bank, a settling jar versus an impatient drink, a fire versus scarce fuel. The goal was rarely perfection. It was making the next drink less dangerous than the last one. Clear water or boiled water, which would you trust first? Tell me below. And in the next episode, we will follow another tiny, everyday danger. What happened when a small cut became infected before antibiotics?